Um, Hello, I'm making another tier list because I played the game a little more, got a little bit more experience with all of these tanks, and I've changed my opinion on some of them. And I'm also going to try editing this video instead of just uploading a raw clip. um, I'm going to start off with my favorite tanks, which are the American ones. This thing, it's very reliable. It's got very good armor, and it repairs very fast, like most of the American tanks. We're not going to be ranking any of these VIP server ones, which would be probably that. Okay, so helicopters, they're both very good. This one, it's faster and it's harder to hit, and the only difference is what they drop in terms of cargo, which this one's better for. But so just use that if you want to drop cargo on people. It's very useful, honestly. This thing, it's also very good. It's very fast. It's maneuverable. You can dodge bullets with it and stuff. It's got very good armor compared to the other really fast tank, which has really bad armor and wheels that you can shoot off. But it has indirect fire and an anti-aircraft gun, which is what makes it a little more balanced out. This thing, it's definitely not worth the price at all. You can just go around it like any of these other really slow tanks that can't move their turret around. And it's really insanely expensive. There's no wonder I didn't know what it was last time, because nobody uses it, because it sucks really badly. These things, these I don't see the other one. Here it is. I think they're both the same. I mean, the trade-off is there, but it just makes them equal. I prefer this one, or I actually prefer that one. You can't dump cargo, which means that you have to have this like annoying thing in your base while you're building it, or just carry the boxes individually whenever you need them, which is also really annoying. And you also just don't really usually need this amount of crates. I'm gonna rank all these heavy tanks last. Starting off with another American tank, probably like low S tier. It repairs very fast. It's like reliable. That's how I would describe all the American tanks. Armor is pretty good, and it's decently fast, so you can get off, go and repair, and stuff like that. I will say it's very tall, though. It's a very tall tank, in my opinion, from what I think. One of the tanks I was talking about that I thought I was wrong about would definitely be like this. I started using it. It like has, it's not completely locked into just shooting straight like the M3 Grant or this thing. You can actually aim, which helps it with its indirect fire, and it's actually pretty fast. I've learned just by using it. Relatively fast, not fast compared to like that or that or that or that. The unarmored ones. Humvee would definitely be the worst, probably in the game, just because I don't even know why there's a rank requirement to this. They shouldn't have removed the Cybertruck. It was better, I think. It has this really weak turret. It's it's like, I don't know if it's even the fastest tank in the game, and it has no armor. Also, one thing about this one again is that the machine gun doesn't really matter for it because you could just use your rifle like it tells you to, which basically means it has no listed downside. The actual downside would be oh yeah, if they shoot the front of your tank, anytime you shoot at somebody else, they can also shoot at you, which is a big disadvantage. You have to turn away during your reloading time, which is also annoying. But this tank also has the exact same issue. I'll also post it. This thing, you have to be able to aim it, or else it's a really bad tank. These side hatches are really useful for using dynamite, which I like to do whenever tanks get really close to you, or just leaving faster than having to try and jump out. This thing has really big problems with leaving through the hatch, but this thing, you can just walk out. It's really easy. Like I said, just learn to shoot this, and the rifle is actually better than the machine gun here, I think. So you could just use that if it bothers you too much. This thing, I hate the people that use it. I think they're trash at the game because these turrets aren't going to do much. You already kill people really fast with your machine guns, and they don't deal much damage. So I like to shoot the turrets off of them, make them regret choosing this shitty ass tank. This thing is pretty rare, but it was my favorite for one of my favorite tanks. It's probably going up here. It's really good if you're like shooting someone point blank. Thing is, the point of oscillating turret is to have high elevation and depression, but you can't really use that because it's a shotgun thing. But it deals a lot of damage, which is the entire point of it, really. It's kind of middling in between this and the 4-wheeler, 8-wheeler. I mean, so there's really no reason to ever use it. You could just go full on, 4 wheels or no wheel, or 2-wheel. I mean, just I wouldn't use any of these other than the 4-wheel one because the wheels aren't really an issue on that more than any normal tank. A place can be, I guess. This thing, like I was just saying, this is what you should be going to if you want to take down an aircraft. And it's probably the best one at that, except maybe the Huey, I guess. I don't know. Well, getting to the end of it. I think this thing's better because you can shoot tanks with it fine and airplanes. I'll just call them airplanes instead of helicopters because it's a really long thing. Really long word. The anti-aircraft gun works really well, especially if you shoot a fast tank. You don't really have to lead your shots, or if you fail to hit one of your shots because you didn't lead enough, the cost isn't as much. I would actually say they're about equal though, because this thing deals a lot of damage and has indirect fire. They're both the same. I think they used to have more of these in the other game, more crates, which was more useful. But now it actually adds a difference between these two. By the way, I don't think I'm actually going to be using this tier because I've been familiarized with all the tanks. This Tiger, it's probably one of the best heavy tanks. It's not that heavy, and its turret is useful. But the thing with all the heavy tanks is its machine gun really sucks, and it's slow, I guess. But I never really have any trouble with the heavy tanks. You can just use cover really well against them. And you could usually just maneuver around their turret, but with this one, that isn't a thing, which makes it a lot better. This one, I would actually say this is higher. It has a really good gun and it has the same kind of turret as that, where you can actually churn it more than you think. I would consider this like the upgraded version of that. This, it's just the worst patent, honestly. It's just the worst version of it. Its gun is worse. The machine gun, I mean. It looks less cool, which is a big thing for me. And this thing, it's very situational on the ice map, and ice isn't really that big of an issue if you're not using the Scorpion, and it doesn't really compete with that because it's not very fast. So I would just call it middling. This thing, I like it a lot. It's pretty fun. I didn't realize for the longest time that it's like kind of semi-automatic. It shoots, I think, with random damage, random range, random spread, and a random, I don't know if I said, and random fire rate, reload time. It's a pretty nice gimmick weapon. I consider it kind of similar to this thing. I would consider this like the upgrade to that. Also consider this heavy tank, because the thing that finds heavy tanks to me is really the cost and not the slowness of them. This is a heavy tank, by the way. Heavy tanks, I'm talking about this, this, and this, and this. Not things like this, or this, or this, or this. I would consider this a medium tank, by the way. Not really heavy to me. This thing's very slow. You could shoot its gun off. That's how I mainly do it. Shoots gun off. Then you can shoot this gun off really easy. By the way, on all the tanks with this gun, you could shoot it off really easily. So that should just be a listed downside for all of them. And then they have no weapon. It's really easy to disarm these guys, and they're just incredibly slow. One thing, I saw somebody running like the higher range rounds with it and not missing very much, and that's a really good strategy. You basically have infinite range. You can hit anybody. And these are the Game Pass tanks. This is just, you might like wonder why there's two of these, but this is like the version of this with a faster motor. So it's just faster. That's all, man. That's tier list. Yeah. Also, I'm not sure I'm gonna edit it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about it throughout the entire video. And the way I was thinking about editing it is just really tedious. And I'm not gonna do it like that. I'm not gonna edit it at all, actually. It's a pretty crappy video to do that on.